Hi, I'm Jamie Miller, the new Director of Education for Quilts Inc. And today we are here with one of our amazing International Quilt Festival Houston 2026 teachers, David Taylor. How are you today, David?
I'm doing great, thank you. Got
Yeah,
up,
we're
did
so
my
glad to have you
walk.
back.
Well, thank you.
Kind of tell everybody your quilty background, like what began your addiction?
What began my addiction to fabric?
Hmm.
Oh, sister, I don't know. I have five brothers and sisters,
Wow.
and none of them got the fabric thing really that I have. And I don't know why I was one of the middle children because you can't really have a middle of six.
Yeah, right.
But from the time we were kids, my father died when we were very young, so my mother raised her six kids.
Oh, bless your mother.
So we didn't have a lot, but what my mother always insisted on was that we did crafts, arts and crafts. We
Yeah.
could spend our money on arts and crafts. Our favorite gift was Crayola crayons,
Oh, a brand new box.
coloring. But I got the fabric thing, and I used to collect all my mother's scraps because, of course, she made all of our clothes.
Hmm.
And if you wanted new clothes, you learned to sew. So all of us, three boys, three girls, we all know how to use the sewing machine.
Oh, I love your
So
mother for teaching y'all that.
I looked back. I thought I made my first shirt at age 10, but I didn't. At age 10, I made a Halloween costume. I didn't make my first shirt until I was 12. So I'd
Wow.
always gotten into this for apparel work.
Hmm.
Even up through high school, through college, into my business life, working in offices. And so I made all of my clothes. And then somewhere in 1998, 1999, my friend Madeline, I went to work for her in sometime in the mid 80s. I
Hmm.
worked at a big box store. So around about 1980, 1998, 1999, Madeline said, I really think that you would enjoy this quilting thing.
Hmm.
I was like, no, 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 no. Tried that in high school. Tried to make a quilt top, never finished it. Through her coercion, and yeah, I started making quilts.
Oh.
And we had worked on a project together as a fundraiser for our chamber music festival. We're in the town where we lived. And that quilt sold at the silent auction to raise money for the chamber music festival. It's called Strings Music Festival. Um, and it sold for $25,000.
David, and that was your first like
My
real
first
quilt.
project that I
Oh
made.
my,
Now I
geez,
consider that
go big,
Madeline's
baby.
quilt because most of the time it was Madeline telling me what to do. Do this, do this, do
Sure.
this, do this. And you're doing that wrong. And you're doing that wrong. You're doing that wrong. Anyway, but we both, our names became synonymous with that quilt. And
Uh,
so one of our local art galleries in town asked me, do you have another one of those art quilts? Because we could sell it for you. And
yeah.
I said, oh, no, no, I'm not the quilter. Madeline's the quilter. And they're going, well, if you had one, we could sell it. So I thought about it and I went home and I made up a quilt and I brought it to the gallery. And about a month later, they called and said, you can come pick up your check because it's sold. And they said, do you have another one? Let me get back to you. And so,
I will soon.
so I mean, that next one took me 2 years to make because
Oh,
I still had a job. I had a career in graphic design. I
yeah.
worked at a daily newspaper.
Wow.
So, I only could quilt at night. And
Mhm.
so I finished that one and that was went to the gallery and then they called me, said, you can come pick up your check. And so soon after that, I thought, well, there's something here. So
Mhm.
I got into this as a art form where I
Mhm.
make a quilt and I sell it. I make a quilt and I sell it. And until recently, I don't make quilts for myself. I just make them as my art
Sure.
uh, and sell them. And so when guilds call me and they say, can you come do a trunk show? Well, I don't have a trunk. I don't have any quilts because I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate as an artist, freelance artist, making my art that my work usually sells before they're finished. Because of places like going to Houston every year, as
Mhm.
I did. I think my first year was 2002. My first entry was 2004.
Wow.
Because of that, I gained some notoriety. And
Sure.
so my work sells. I only have one piece right now, and no, you can't see it because it is my entry for fall. Did enter my newest piece, so that's going to
Ooh,
be
good. I can't wait to see it. Good luck.
okay.
Fingers crossed. All
Thank you,
good.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good vibes.
So my chosen art form and what Madeline was the first person to show me was applique. I find it very satisfying and I love creating pictorial pieces. That's what I do is pictorial.
Mhm.
So I take my time. It takes as long as it takes. And my
Mhm.
motto, if you don't have the right fabric for the project, then you got to go fabric shopping.
Ooh, oh, darn it.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it makes it very easy if you're fabric shopping at the show because you
Yes,
go
it does.
downstairs and if there's a fabric you're looking for, those vendors will have it.
It is there. Yeah. But the fun thing that with Houston, when I'd always go with the ladies, it really is. I mean, you can go by yourself because it's
Sure.
fun.
Hmm.
But when you have a group of people that you go with, the ladies and I went for years together. Then you go back to the hotel at night and then you do show and share.
Yes, it's the
Girls what
best.
they bought, and you're writing down booth numbers like, where did you find that?
I need that.
Because the booths are all numbered and that you
Yep.
get the map so you can mark it out
Mhm.
for the next day, the booths that you might have missed. Because people like me, it's like squirrel.
Yes.
You know, and I always recommend you at least go for multiple days, especially so you can spend one day at the exhibits. Because
Yes.
truly, you can spend the whole day in there and really take your time. And there's usually white glove people who
Oh,
can answer
yes.
questions for
Mhm.
you. And
It's always crowded in the special exhibits and
always.
usually not the judge show ones, but we do have quite a few of the quilts that are on display in that special exhibits are up for sale. So,
Oh, really?
oh yes, and I don't know that that's super well known. So if you're coming to the show and in the special exhibits and you see a quilt, I mean, there's usually like a sign close to it that says for sale. And then you go to
Or this is not for sale.
yes, or don't take a picture. There are a few just
Oh,
due to I think that's a lot more of our antique quilts from our own personal collection at Quilts Inc. But there's a few of them that you're not even allowed to take photos of just because of the age of them and just trying to, preserve them for as long as possible. But most of them you can take pictures. You can't touch any of them. This is like an art museum. But some of them will
okay.
be for sale. And I know every year we sell a bunch of them. And how awesome for the artists that make those that you
Guilty. Yeah,
sell
I've sold a
them.
couple through festival. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. So that's a great segue. Let's talk about all of your classes. We're keeping you busy this year, David. We've got you teaching 4 classes. I have layered hand applique, artistry through applique, feel the
Visually.
rhythm, and timing and tension tips. So without, they got to sign up for classes and come, but give us a little bit about what we,
And registration is open. I just,
yes, open.
yep, don't hesitate if you want to get into them.
Yeah.
So I don't know
And
which,
if it is sold out, we do have a wait list. And things happen where people can't end up
always,
coming. So sign up on
always.
that wait list. If there's a class that you missed and it is sold out, there's always a chance.
So I don't know the order I'm, but one of them is my applique technique. This is a very simple pattern. And so I go through my whole technique of how I do my layered applique process.
Hmm.
And I started that many, many years ago, and that's still the way that I prefer to do things, is to do them by hand.
Oh, I love hand
And
work.
so in that class, just to make it easy, I do provide the kit. So you'll get the pattern, you'll get all the here's a little cheat. I use freezer paper, but
Yay.
I supply all the freezer paper templates too are in the kit
Oh,
and
wonderful.
all of the washed fabric. So I wash and press all the fabrics for the kits that I'll be bringing, and I bring the needles and I bring the thread. So pretty much, as long as you have a pair of scissors and a good attitude, that's pretty much all you need. It just makes it easy, especially since you're already carting around all your purchases from Fest.
Sure. Sure.
Just being able to walk into that class ready to go. And
Hmm.
as I say, if you have your own needle that you like to use in your own thread, well, of course,
Great.
bring that, whatever you're comfortable with. But I do talk a lot about, as people will tell you, a lot about needles and thread because
Mhm.
that's where it starts, both for hand applique and for machine work. So that's my applique class. Here's the, I think I can scoot this in. Here's the one
Oh,
that's
I
finished
love it.
in my quilt with all my flower patterns, which
Uh,
are on my website. That's a little infomercial. They're all at the
yes, do it.
all my 12 flowers. But you see, this one is now, that's the quilted version.
It's beautiful.
And a lot of people ask me, why do you do hand applique and then cover it with machine quilting instead of hand quilting? I have two reasons. I love hand applique and I love machine quilting. My first quilt I was machine quilted, and I have a quilting machine. I
Mhm.
started out on my old
Domestic.
Virginia
Oh,
domestic,
yes, as we all did. That's sweet.
quilting in that little machine like a little Barbie doll
With
machine.
your little throat
Exactly.
and a
And
big quilt.
now I'm on a stationary long arm, which meaning the long arm doesn't move.
Yes.
You do the moving, and that's because I started on a domestic. That's how I prefer to quilt my
hmm
quilts.
Yep.
Also because you get to touch the fabric. So when you're fondling your fabric, you could
Oh,
see
well, it's the best
instead
part.
of touching the machine.
Yes.
I
A true
like
fiber
that.
artist you are. That is more true words I've
I
never heard.
like that class that I'm teaching. I believe that I'm going to be in the Handy Quilter 20-inch Amara
Mhm.
room where we have the table mounted machines in there. Timing and tension. Because I have to say that, I like to toot my own horn. I am
Because you
pretty
need
much
to.
I'm a master of tension. You can give me any thread and any needle on any machine, and I
Oh,
can get that tension correct. See,
what an
like
amazing
on
skill
this
to have.
example, this is my leaf here, and
Oh,
that is white bobbin thread, and
wow.
it is the variegated on the front. And
Oh,
there's
that's
no
stunning.
orange pokies coming through, and there's no white pokies coming
Um,
through. I will get you to that point. If you have trouble with timing and tension, timing is just the rhythm of your machine, and that's
mhm.
mostly what I teach. Now, those machines come with a stitch regulator built in,
Yeah.
but you can turn it off. So we'll do some part of the class with the stitch regulator off,
hmm
find your rhythm, and then with the stitch regulator on, which kind of sets its own rhythm
Yeah.
big. But it's all about understanding the weight of the thread, the needle that you're using, the speed that you're operating at.
Mhm.
So all of that is covered in that class. And
Oh,
it's
and
a
that's
fast
it's
class. It's only a half day, 3 hours. We're in
yeah.
there. And
hmm
I'm going to throw different weights of threads at the and you've got to get that machine up and going and get that tension right. But the in that class, I like to give individual attention. So we only have 17 machines in that class. So you're not going to be in a class with 30 people or 40 people. There's
Right.
17 machines. We also have one of our handy quilter educators will
hmm
be in that room also to help with those machines, make sure everybody's up and running.
hmm
I love teaching that class.
Yeah.
So feel the rhythm is kind of like the first part. I'm going to
Good stuff.
teach those basics of how to get started, how to get
hmm
started on a stationary long arm,
Oh,
because
wonderful.
it is like moving just up from your domestic onto
hmm
the long arm. But what a lot of people don't understand is a quilting machine, that's all it does is quilt.
Right.
The needle goes up and down. There's
Yeah.
no feed dogs. You can't set a special stitch.
hmm
That's supposed to be you creating
Yes. Yeah.
special designs. So a sewing machine, you can sew on it and you can quilt on it. On a quilting machine, it quilts. Needle goes
Right.
up and down.
Right.
So but finding your rhythm, that is the key to everything, is finding
hmm
your rhythm.
Then the last class I've got is the Artistry Through Appliquè.
And that is my lecture class. It's
Yes,
a 3-hour lecture class, and yep, you got to listen to me talk for 3 hours.
that's
Um,
easy to do.
but it explains the whole process of what I do. So there's usually lots of questions.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm sure.
and you don't have to wait till the end to ask questions. We get more of a dialogue going.
hmm
So bring up notepad and pencil and take notes. And if you don't understand anything, I answered that question a million times. I'll answer it a million more. I
Oh,
don't mind sharing all of my knowledge as it relates to my work, from how I choose the photo to how I draw the patterns to how I do the applique, how I do the quilting, all of that in a 3-hour class. Basically, it's like taking my 5-day workshop that I teach pretty much all over the country, and
Sure.
condensing that to 3 hours.
Wow.
So there's no time for anyone to work on a project. It's just
Hmm.
me talking about it, and it's a whole digital presentation.
Hmm.
So you get step by step along the way of how I do what I do.
Oh, awesome. I love it. And your story is so inspiring. Okay, my very last question, which is the
Uh-oh.
hard question. What is one quilting notion tool besides like your machine and stuff that you cannot live without?
Yes, my favorite tool that I can't live without is this little device. And you know how many times in my classroom somebody says, "Oh, I bought one of those at Houston," and I didn't know what it was for. Here it is. Do you see? It's just a little, it's called a trolley needle.
Hmm.
It's made by a company called Yarn Works, and there are other ones on the market from
Hmm.
different manufacturers.
Sure.
This is the one that Madeline had me use years ago, and I still use it. What this does is this helps me pre-turn my edges, because I do turned edge applique. I don't do
Hmm.
raw edge, I do turned edge. So this helps you turn your edges and keeps your finger away from the hot iron. Because
Wonderful.
otherwise you're turning with your finger. So
Uh-huh.
this, for those of us who have issues, um, this helps me to turn my edges and iron at the same time. And so they are available on my website,
Oh,
and most people go looking for them in a quilt shop, and it's rare that you'll find one in there unless the quilt shop understands about applique.
right.
But you find them in yarn stores
Wow, that's so
because they're
interesting.
they're they're made by a company called Yarn Works, and they're for some type of needlepoint or needlework with laying
Hmm.
down yarns. But I use it for turning my edges and for lots of other reasons too.
Sure. I could even see that being helpful, as a guide on your machine. You know how
When you
sometimes you
need
use a
to hold your
regular
edge down.
stiletto or, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And it's good
love
for
it.
opening up seams and doing different things with it. It's not very sharp, which is a good thing
Yes.
for those of us who are accident prone. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's my favorite tool is my finger stiletto.
I
All
love it. And you
known
said
at
it's available on your website, which is for my last question. Where can we find you online? Social media and your website, please.
DavidTaylorArtQuilts.com is my website. On Facebook and the other things, it's David Taylor Quilts, my web.
Perfect. Well, awesome. David, it's such a pleasure talking with you today.
Oh,
And
thank
we are just
you.
so thrilled to have you this year at our show. And we'll see you in November. Y'all go sign up for all of his classes.